Hello. We would like our listeners to know that this episode has 2 gunshot sounds occurring at the 9-minute and 40-second mark. This episode is appropriate for listeners of all ages. Thank you.
Have you ever wondered what America was like 100 years ago?
Or how peanut butter was invented?
Why is the sky blue?
Tired of the same boring history book?
Let's discover something new today.
Welcome to Kids on the Square.
This episode of Kids on the Square is called The New Frontier. Oh, come on. Come on.
Game over.
Not again. Yeah?
Can I come in?
Sure, G-Pa. If Mom says it's okay, her head would explode if you got sick from me.
Don't worry. When you were 2, you walked up to me and sneezed right into my face at dinner.
Ew. I promise. I'll cover my mouth now.
Oh, you were a little gremlin back then. Kind of like those green guys on your screen. What game is this?
It's Cowboys versus Aliens Interstellar Expedition. I got it for Christmas. It's pretty fun, but I can't get past this big alien. It's like 2 seconds every time and I'm down. And then I blow my nose every 2 seconds. Not to mention I'm missing Mom's birthday party. I'll totally get stuck with a corner brownie piece because all the middle ones will get snagged first.
Yeah, it's no fun to be sick on a holiday. We all miss you downstairs at the party.
Yeah.
I was cornered talking to your dad's real estate agent, just begging for a grandkid who loves baseball to come rescue me.
You're an adult, G-Pa. You're not allowed to tell me that you don't want to talk to other adults.
I didn't read that in the manual.
Game over.
Why don't you take a break from that game? I actually brought you a book I thought you'd like.
A book?
Yes, it's a real special one.
I don't really feel like reading, G-Pa.
How long have you been playing that game?
Like 3 hours, I think.
Oh, you're definitely taking a break.
But books make me super sleepy. I doubt I'll make it through a chapter.
Au contraire, this is one of the most exciting, daring, adventurous books out there. It's kind of like your alien cowboy game thing, but better, because it's true. In fact, without the adventurers in this book, we wouldn't have had cowboys.
Okay, I appreciate the pitch. I guess I'll give it a shot. What's it called?
This book is The Journals of Lewis and Clark.
Journals? So it's not even a story. Oh man, I'm definitely going to fall asleep.
Oh, come on. The nice thing is I can skip around and give you the best highlights, the most exciting parts.
What could be exciting about journals? Ugh, and aren't Lewis and Clark like shoe designers or something?
What? The men and woman of the Lewis and Clark expedition were some of the bravest in American history. They were in charge of discovering the western portion of America from the Louisiana Purchase. Let me set the scene. This is the letter President Thomas Jefferson wrote describing the expedition to Captain Lewis.
To
Meriwether Lewis, Esquire, Captain of the 1st Regiment of Infantry of the United States of America.
The object of your mission is to explore the Missouri River and such principal stream of it as by its course and communication with the water of the Pacific Ocean may offer the most direct and practicable water communication across this continent. Your observations are to be taken with great pains and accuracy. In all your interactions with the natives, treat them in the most friendly and conciliatory manner which their own conduct will admit. To provide on the accident of your death, against anarchy, dispersion and the consequent danger to your party, and total failure of the enterprise, you are hereby authorized to name the person among them who shall succeed your command and be invested with all the powers and authorities given to yourself. Given under my hand at the city of Washington this 20th day of June, 1803, Thomas Jefferson, President of the United States of America.
Whoa, that's like a spy mission.
Yes, the expedition was very dangerous. No one really knew what lay ahead in the West. It was going to take a very brave group.
President Jefferson didn't think they were going to make it.
He probably didn't, and I don't blame him for thinking that. The members of the expedition were about to do something that had never been done. They knew the winters would be harsh, supplies limited, and survival difficult.
Achoo! Oh.
If one of them got sick, there was no hospital to go to. They couldn't even go to the store for food or Kleenex. They had to survive in the wilderness.
Whoa, that sounds impossible.
In many ways, it was, if not for a very special person that came later on the trip, Sacagawea.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about her.
She was an invaluable addition to the expedition team. Her survival skills saved the team many times, and, well, I'm getting ahead of myself.
What happened next?
The expedition began in 1804. I'll skip ahead to one of my favorite entries, where they met one of their first challenges with the wild. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, everyone. Let's keep walking. Sergeant Ordway, York, take a moment to collect some of these berries and meet us back at the camp. We will leave Seaman here with you.
Yes, Captain. Here, I have these 2 sacks we can fill.
Good, thank you. At this rate, I'm not sure how much we'll be able to collect.
Why's that?
Seaman keeps gobbling them up.
I don't blame him. They are delicious. There's more past this pine tree.
Good eye. I am very thankful we had a peaceful encounter with the Mandan tribe. It's amazing they're willing to share crops and berries with us.
I know. It's certainly better than when the last tribe was hunting us. Here's another berry, Seaman. He sure is energetic today. Sergeant Ordway?
What's that?
Is everything all right?
Yes, just thought I saw something. But please, call me John.
I don't think I could, Sergeant. All right, here's another berry. Now settle.
York, tell me truthfully, what do you think about some of the stories the tribe was telling us? I find it hard to believe what they were saying about the great white bear. Who's ever heard of such a creature?
It's hard for me to imagine such a creature. Sounds more like a monster.
My point exactly. They said it takes 6 or more men to defeat it, and that they dress in ceremonial costumes to pray they did not encounter one. How can it be a real creature?
Here, Seaman. Have another berry.
That's odd.
What is it?
These marks in the dirt, they make a pattern. Must be tracks of some kind, but surely not. Those scratches are too large. Maybe a herd of deer?
No, the imprint isn't right. Deer are much lighter on their feet. This track is too deep.
Seaman, what is it now?
I don't think that growl came from Seaman.
Sergeant, look. That rock. Is it moving?
Impossible.
I don't think the stories are false.
That rock isn't a rock. It's
A grizzly bear. Ready your gun, York. But stay quiet. Make no sudden movements. Who knows if they travel in packs? But we must back away quietly. So much for quiet.
The bear has spotted us, Sergeant. It's charging at us.
Get ready to fire. Stand strong, York.
Now?
Hold until we're 10 feet away. It takes too long to reload. We can't afford to miss it.
Sergeant, it's at least 500 pounds. It's barreling straight towards us.
Hold your fire. Once we fire, we must begin to run to camp. Understood?
Understood. Now?
Hold.
Seaman, stay.
Now, York, fire!
Run!
Saturday, May 11th, 1805. About 5 p.m., my attention was struck by two of our party running at a distance towards us and making signs and howling as if in distress. They arrived so out of breath that it was several minutes before they could tell us what happened. They had discovered and shot a brown bear, which immediately turned on them and pursued them a considerable distance. They even jumped into a river, but the bear followed them through the water. I immediately turned out with 7 of the party in quest of this monster. We, at length, found his trail and pursued him about a mile through very thick brush. It took over 6 bullets before the bear was defeated. Seaman fought bravely next to us. These bears, being so hard to die, rather intimidates us all. We have decided to proceed with extreme caution when seeing them and to not attack unless we must defend ourselves. These 2 men and our dog were blessed by Providence. They survived. Meriwether Lewis.
Let's go to the Book Nook.
Welcome to the Book Nook, where we highlight different books that we enjoy and even interview the authors. Today, we have the special joy and gift to speak with author and friend Nan Gurley. She is the author of children's books Twice Yours, What Color is Love, and The Little Rose of Sharon. She is a multi-talented human being. She's an actress, a singer, an artist, a painter, so many wonderful things that you create. And we are just so thankful to have you here today.
Thank you.
So, just to start the conversation off, did you always envision yourself as an author? Was writing something you always enjoyed, or did you surprise yourself with this talent? Being so talented in so many areas of the arts, how did writing
Sarah.
come up to be?
Well, if you had asked me when I was 8 years old what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would have told you I want to be a missionary ballerina. And now, as a much older woman, looking back on that, I see it was truly perceptive. I wanted to combine my love of Jesus with the arts.
Yes.
Now, I am not a dancer and never was. I never became a ballerina, but I did grow in my faith in Jesus Christ. And I grew as a creative person, a singer, an actor who wanted to glorify Jesus with my gifts. And as I increased my knowledge of the Bible, as I began to be a serious student of the Bible and study it, I became so much more aware of the beauty of Jesus, the glory of God, that I thought, I've got to tell people. I've always loved to teach children. For 9 years, I had a puppet ministry at church, and every Wednesday night would come up with a puppet show for the kids of a Bible story. So, you know, as someone who wanted to tell the world how good God is, I've always loved to read. So if you read and read and read books, you will learn to write. If you read the great authors, you will learn how to express yourself in words on paper.
Wow, I could not stop smiling. That entire answer, that speaks to my own soul so much. And I'm sure it speaks to many of our listeners too. Good. How cool. But then I do want to hear the story of the missionary ballerina. Maybe we need to write that story next. I don't know. There's something to it. Maybe all I'm thinking is intrigue, maybe a little espionage. I don't know.
Well, you've seen really great worship dance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that art form can be such a glory to God.
Absolutely.
So. But that's one art form I did not pursue.
Well, yeah, if anything, I think you can do it all still. So. But grandparents and the special relationship with their grandchildren is also something beautiful in your writing that I adore. And so I was curious about your own relationship with your grandparents and how they played a part in your life.
The role of grandparents for me was huge. Yeah. I was blessed to have both sides. Mom's parents and dad's parents loved the Lord. Both sets were very hospitable people, always having people over. And going to my grandparents' house was magic.
Yes.
And I still, like to this day, if I smell the smell of boxwood, I'm back in Richmond, Virginia with my grandparents on my dad's side. Or if I smell white bean soup cooking on the stove, I'm back at my mother's parents' house. So, you know, grandparents play a massive role in the formation, in the spiritual formation of grandchildren, if they will be present and involved, and if they will show their grandkids how much they love Christ. It's a foundation this child will take the rest of their lives.
I was recently speaking to a teacher, and we were talking about, she was leading her class through a creative writing experience, and she was struggling to find common ground. And so she said, let's decide on the setting. And they decided, someone just said grandma's house. She said, instantly the class came together and they were able to create this whole world within grandma's house.
That's fabulous.
Grandparents are magic.
They are
you
magic.
just said. They're absolutely magic. And the joy of going to your grandparents' home, I think there's a little taste of that in each of your books. There's the comfort of that. Nan, thanks so much for joining us today. And listeners, you can get a copy of Little Rose of Sharon, Twice Yours, or What Color is Love on Amazon or your preferred online book retailer. That's it for the Book Nook. Let's hop back into the episode.
Whoa. Airbud has got nothing on Seaman. Paw Patrol takes a back seat. This dog can stand up to a grizzly bear.
Pretty incredible. He even stood up to a few bison.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Is that the next part of the story?
The expedition did have plenty of animal stories. Over the course of their travels, they discovered over 100 different animals. Most of their journal entries are science entries about the animals and plants they discovered. But the next part of the story is about Sacagawea, her husband, and their baby son.
Wait, you're telling me a baby survived this expedition?
Yes, hard to believe, right? Lewis and Clark were there for the birth of the baby.
Whoa, did they build a hospital somewhere?
No, Sacagawea gave birth outdoors. She even drank parts of a rattlesnake because they thought it would help her.
That's the toughest baby in history. That's like an action hero baby. That baby could kick a buffalo's butt.
The baby boy was named Jean-Baptiste, but he was given the nickname Pomp.
Look, all I'm saying is there's a superhero dog and a baby as tough as a rattlesnake. How is this not a movie? Oh, so what happens with Pomp and Sacagawea?
All right. This is from Toussaint Charbonneau, Sacagawea's husband.
C'est review. Déjeuner. Today, we teetered on the edge of disaster. Some of the men in the expedition were tired and sore from the 6-mile hike yesterday, so I volunteered to steer the boat. We gathered our supplies and made our way on board. We had a good amount of books, gunpowder, medicines, and food that we kept on deck. We stacked them up near the rudder and set sail. Most of the men decided to go down quarters to rest more while I steered. Sacagawea and Pomp stayed above with me. Little Pomp was excited by the water and giggled when the waves splashed against the boat. I let the sails down and Pomp gave a small round of applause. Then suddenly, everything changed. Clouds filled the sky and a terrible gust of wind caught us. We were in a squall. The waters became rough and choppy. I could barely hold on to the wheel when the boom swung around at me, hit me and knocked me straight off my feet. Then the boat began to tip. I froze in fear as I watched the stacks of supplies, the food, the medicine, and worst of all, Lewis and Clark's journals go overboard. It was a nightmare. Should I jump in? I was wearing my furs and coat. They would weigh me down if I started to swim. I started to unbutton, but it would all take too long, as the water was too fast. All was lost. Then, I heard a thud. A drenched box tossed back on the deck. I turned and saw Sacagawea carrying Pomp on her back, leaning as far out as she could. Another wet package landed onto the deck. She was reaching into the water and getting our supplies. She was on her tiptoes. Then she climbed even farther off the edge using the rope to balance and lean across the water. Pomp cried, but her determination did not wither. She reached even further. She held the rope with one hand and was just balancing on the rope. The medicine. the food. It was a marvel. She had saved the captain's journals. The journals were kept in special waterproof metal tins out of caution so they would not be harmed. Lewis and Clark led all the men in a cheer for her. If Pomp gained just a quarter of bravery from his mothers, and he would be braver than Napoleon himself. She is the hero of our journey today and invaluable to us all. We have just made camp, and now I must rest. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? Toussaint Charbonneau, May 14th, 1805.
Wow, Sacagawea really saved the day.
Yes, this is just one case out of many that she really did save the expedition. She was an excellent translator between Native American tribes, was very skilled with medicinal herbs, scavenging, and foresting, and had a great knowledge of the land.
I bet seeing her and Baby Pomp really helped other Native American tribes know they came in peace.
Exactly. She was essential to the success of the journey. Everyone in the expedition had a great respect for her. Which brings me to our next story. It's November 1805. The expedition had been going on for over a year, and winter was upon them. Oh, how horrible is the day. This dreadful wind and rain continues, and the waves breaking with great violence against the shore throw the water into our camp, all wet and confined to our shelters.
Sergeant Ordway, there's space over here.
York, there you are. Glad you still have a small bit of room under this bear skin. Smart of you to attach it to these branches.
It's no tarp, but it'll do for now. You made it back in time. The captains want us all to meet together this evening.
Interesting. Maybe they decided to go back and begin to build our winter camp.
I hope so. You were just out with the hunters, correct? Any luck?
No, we came back empty. Looks like more pounded fish with salt water for us all.
I don't think I can stomach another meal of that again.
I know, my stomach hasn't been pleased either. Captain Clark suggested we use fresh water instead of salt. Maybe that'll help. Hold on now. What's this? Piece of bread?
Yes. Sacagawea tried to feed it to Pomp, but he cried the minute it touched his lips. So she gave it to me.
That is quite sour.
Poor Pomp. He's been crying more than usual. He needs to get out of the cold and wet. I'm nervous about how he will fare this winter if we stay here much longer.
Yes, but we must keep those thoughts to ourselves. Any luck getting a fire going?
No. I've been trying for hours, but everything is soaked. Besides, even if a blaze did form, the smoke would be terrible to our eyes. We need to get out of this terrain and go back down the mountains. The wind is too harsh. We will never survive this winter.
But we are so close to our goal. The Pacific Ocean is just within reach. We've come too far to turn back now. Captains Lewis and Clark have yet to make a decision about where we travel next. We must wait. We must be loyal to them.
John, look at us. We are soaked to the bone. We haven't eaten in days. If we don't turn back now, we may never reach it.
Perhaps you're right. Come. That bell means it's time for a campfire meeting. Maybe we'll find out what the captains have decided.
Everyone, please, it's time. Join us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I apologize. It looks like we will have more smoke than a fire this evening since, well, as you know, everything is soaked. Captain Clark and I are struggling with our decision. As you all know, conditions are much worse than we expected. The wind, rain, and low food supplies are making this a difficult place to set up our fort. And yet, we are so close to our goal.
Oh no. We are staying here for winter. We will never survive. Shh, hush.
We have decided to vote.
Captains, may I speak?
Yes, please, Sergeant.
You know that you have a loyal corps with you. We will follow you wherever you decide.
Yes, thank you, Sergeant. But a vote is necessary. Without all of your loyalty, we wouldn't have made it this far. Our lives now hang in the balance, and as a sign of respect to you, to your lives, we all must vote. Do we understand each other?
Yes, Captain.
Everyone must cast a vote. Should we explore further or turn back for winter?
Captain.
Yes, York?
Surely you don't mean everyone, Captain.
You will vote as well, York. You were not free to voice your opinion when you began this expedition, but you are a valuable and equal member of our party.
Thank you, Captain.
Sacagawea, you will vote as well. I suppose the only opinion that will not be counted is Seaman's. Naturally.
Please, make your decision in the next hour. Clark and I will come to each of you and record it. That day, November 24th, 1805, everyone in the party voted. All opinions were heard, and the group decided to turn around and build Fort Clatsop, where they all survived the brutal winter. It was the first time in American history a woman and an African American's votes were heard and recorded. Thanks to the hard work and dedication of everyone in the expedition, they finally made it to their goal, the Pacific Ocean, in the new year.
It sounds like the expedition members were all a really great team.
They certainly relied on one another and valued everyone. They had to, in order to survive. It's common to think of the expedition as just 2 or 3 people, Lewis, Clark, and Sacagawea, but they were a group of up to 40 men at times.
I had no idea. You really can't do wilderness like that alone.
They called their group the Corps of Discovery.
Huh. Cool. Maybe this year I'll create my own Corps of Discovery. Achoo!
I'm impressed you're still up.
Me too, honestly. Don't you want to go downstairs and celebrate with everyone else?
And leave a discoverer like you behind? Nah, I'm fine with a side or a corner brownie slice.
You're a rare man, G-Pa.
I'll take brownies over pounded fish anytime.
Me too.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Kids on the Square. We would like to point out that the stories you heard today were inspired by the journals of Lewis and Clark. Some of today's lines and stories were direct quotes from their journals, while others were interpreted for the radio. One example we'd like to point out is that Toussaint Charbonneau did not keep a journal while on the expedition, but the event of Sacagawea saving the supplies that went overboard is true. We hope that you take time to explore and read more of Lewis and Clark's actual writings, and visit our website, kidsonthesquare.com, for more resources.
We hope you enjoyed The New Frontier. If you did, please share this episode with a friend and subscribe to our podcast page so you don't miss our next episode. If you'd like to learn more about the books Little Rose of Sharon, Twice Yours, and What Color is Love, and hear the rest of our interview with our good friend Nan Gurley, keep an eye on this podcast feed and on our YouTube page. Kids on the Square is generously supported by listeners like you. If you'd like to support this program, you can contact us via our website, kidsonthesquare.com. And if you're a parent or guardian listening and you're new to the Public Square, we hope you visit our website, thepublicsquare.com, and discover the full host of other radio products we have available. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on
Kids on the Square.
Thank you to all of the voice actors who made this episode possible. Chip Arnold, Justin Boyd, Alan C. Duncan, David Zanotti, Jonah Jackson, and Paxton W.